What's going on, everybody? Back at it with another review video. It's been a year, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. It's been a while since I've done these videos, but August is near. August is in a week. You know what that means if you're a real sports fan. If you didn't know what that means, I don't know why you're here. Most likely, you're probably not on the right channel or the right video. But with that all being said, football is right around the corner. And what better way to start and to get things going than to give a little bit of knowledge, in my opinion, a little bit of some wisdom, efficiency, technique, mechanics, just overall coaching and overall. These aren't. I don't like the saying tips and tricks because that sounds gimmicky to me. This is just proper, whatever you'd say, textbook material that would just be better for all the coaches and all the players out there, just to get a little bit of knowledge, just to get a little bit of feedback. Being able to watch something, this is film, right? But being able to look back at something visually and get an auditory explanation, I believe it's efficient. It's proficient in the process of the player or the coach, because the coaches can always learn. Those coaches that think they know everything, they don't, and that's just the fact of the matter. Everyone can always learn, but I digress. But like I was saying, being able to view things visually and get the auditory feedback and response can just be very helpful. So that's all I'm providing in these videos, of these reviews. I'll throw in my own little taste. This is my channel, this is my YouTube, I do what I want, but I'm going to add in a little bit of sarcasm, but all in all, it's going to be for a bigger picture. I'll be pretty critical, to be fair, and I'll be pretty straightforward. That's what it takes. That's what it requires when it comes to transparency, is to just be honest with what I'm seeing. And I'll go ahead and do that reviewing this video. Like I said, great video for a lot of those coaches, new coaches, or players getting into tackling. I really recommend, listening and kind of taking a few notes. It doesn't have to be word by word or following exactly what I'm saying or what I'm putting out there, but being able to just take a little bit of what I'm putting out there and putting down when I'm explaining and giving commentary throughout this video, I believe could equal some good things when it comes to taking everything that is being put out there and applying it to when they actually practice and when they actually play the game. So let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. So this looks like high school. I'm not sure where this is at. I'm kind of curious to see. It's probably in the description, but I'll probably click off of it and peep at it when I get the chance. But it looks like somewhere in like Southwest, like Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas. But yeah, they're doing this. It's a variation of an Oklahoma drill. There's all sorts of Oklahoma drills out there. To me, the most ridiculous ones, and I see it a lot in youth, which is terrible because it's teaching the young ones, the ones that are the most impressionable and the ones that are trying to learn with the rate of where their brain's at. They take the information and kind of run with it and build those habits early. It's usually those teams that they end up doing the head on. It's crazy, just one-on-one, no blocking. But this is a little bit better. It's more functional. This is the first time, and you guys can follow with my cursor. This is the first time I've seen a drill where the boundaries are this wide. So it gives the defender a lot more room to make a play, the running back as well. And that kind of defeats the purpose of, I believe this kind of defeats the purpose of the two interior players, the offensive and the defensive linemen, because they don't have anyone else complementing their blocking lanes. So they're kind of just on an island, just dancing together, while it's hard for the defensive lineman. This guy ends up going one direction, the running back's going to go the other way, and if the defensive lineman goes one way, normally that makes the offensive lineman go with him and creates this spill to be able to have the second level come in and fill. But when there's one person, then that just everybody's on an island. So it's pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and run through the clip. I'm talking too much already, but I'll go ahead and roll through and just kind of critique everything that I see from mainly the runner and the tackler. And let's see.
That's why I'm not calling nobody out. I came up in zone. Go get him. Whoa!
I mean, that's a great run by this guy, but just looking at the stature of dude on the ground and looking at his arms and legs compared to the runner right here, to me it looks like a mismatch, and that's on the coaches that put the players in the position to run the drill. It's like, hey, let's match people up based off of their ability. KYP, know your personnel. But, you know, in these drills, sometimes there's, you know, underclassmen that might not get as much playing time that just need bodies out there. But when it comes to this drill, I'll get into that towards the end of the video in terms of who should be put out there, who is it going to benefit, or is it just something to see who's tough? So that is a variable too. But overall, great run by this guy. But you know something that I hate? Okay, he's still on his feet, right? Runner's still on her feet. He's staring at the guy. What? You're holding the ball, you have pads on, and there's a big orange area, and you're running in a direction to try and get somewhere. Where are you trying to go? You're trying to get in the end zone, right? But you want to run this guy over and just want to stare him down. And you don't go in the end zone and you just walk back. So, again, all these things I criticize, and maybe it's just me being extra, but to me that goes a long way with the type of ball player we're talking about. But that I'll save that for another conversation. Everyone that's watching this, take note in what not to do. Just finish the play. It doesn't have to be anything personal. It doesn't have to be a showboating battle. It doesn't have to be something where it's alpha. No, just finish the play. We're here to play football. We're not here to act or show off in any way. Let's finish the play. Great play, but let's get in the damn end zone, man. Come on. All right.
Here we go.
Got a good camera view right here, fixed camera. Okay, that's what I'm saying when I mentioned the boundaries being so wide at the beginning. This just is capable of happening. One cut, and there's no support, there's no pursuit from anyone else, and the tackler just is kind of left out there. But it puts more stress on the tackler to be able to try and make better plays and cover more ground. So I guess it'll make the defenders better, if you will.
Oh my.
That was better. I mean, all right. So they get a clear path. Something that I'm noticing right here, just with this run, but I kind of watched the video previously and I kind of skimmed through it. But what I noticed is that all these running backs are they're running hard, which I really appreciate. Not a lot of them are scared. You'll see a few that are, but they're just beelining right to the end zone, and that puts a lot of pressure on the tackler to really work the technique and really finish the play and to work their keys to be able to make a successful tackle. So I'll kind of go through those keys while I explain what the defender did wrong, in which UI wasn't successful in this tackle. So pad level is okay. I'm not liking the lunge in terms of the defender's lower body just caving in and his head being down. He's not really seeing what he's hitting, and he lunges and his left foot's off the ground. He can't drive. There's this initial push, and you'll see this with a lot of novice tacklers or tacklers that just aren't as developed. They get the initial impact, but they don't drive the feet, and that's a real big key on what separates really good tacklers from people that can't tackle, is that leg drive. And there's a few I believe I saw in this video, But the absence of that just has the defender not really in position to make the play. He leaves the feet, he bounces off, and the runner stays up, and there's no wrap up. There's no wrap up in the defender, and that's what happens. So it's pretty simple right there. Okay, again, the runners are doing a great job just going forward. Foothill, where's Foothill? Is there a Foothill in Las Vegas? If anyone's watched this video and knows where this high school is at, or just comment, hey clown, look in the description. But Foothill, I think there's a Foothill in Vegas. Looks like Vegas, look at the mountains. Anywho, the defender is there, right? Near foot forward, pretty good. And I'm gonna just emphasize this. It's probably not the time in this drill to be talking about near foot forward, but getting on this hip with the boundary being on this side is actually the correct technique in my opinion, because unless we're John Lynch and we're going to blow the guy backwards, that's not going to happen most of the time. So let's go ahead and force and funnel the runner onto the sideline to where at least if we don't make a clean tackle, he's going to not get knocked out of bounds before he reaches the end zone to score. So being on that near hip, getting to an area to where you're not head on, unless, like I said, you're John Lynch, you go head up against anyone, you're going to flatten them and make them go backwards. But for the majority of these kids, being able to come from the angle and go near foot is critical. Boom, right there. But the wrap up wasn't great and he was way too high. The runner did a good job dropping his shoulder pad level. And it wasn't even great. The runner wasn't very even low, in my opinion, as low as he could have been. But the tackler was so high that it was really, really bad, to be honest. Okay. So 26-28 right here. Lost his footing. It ended up working out because the runner essentially just tripped over him. Hey, he didn't get in the end zone. Objective completed, but still, let's work the technique. Kind of overran it a little bit. That's what I'm saying. If he was near foot, so if his body was on this plane, so that's on the left side of the runner's body, if his body was on this side forcing a tackler towards the boundary, getting towards the hip, he has a better chance. But I'm not even gonna, the positioning isn't great, but the fact that the tackler is in this position and just lost his footing and can't support himself to be able to drive just puts him in this position to where he loses and essentially gets ran over. That's not great. And he's overrunning it, and his feet have no leverage because he's not near foot forward. When you're near foot forward, you still have that gather, you still have that momentum from your back leg to be able to create force. But when he's overran, he has zero leverage, and it's just like running over like a styrofoam wall or something. Still made the play though, so good for him. We'll go through a few more and see what happens. Okay, good initial pop. I like the pad level. I mean, 16, 18, whoever this is, he's playing low. He's doing a good job. He is a little bit shorter, but he's playing low. Good initial contact, but where's the wrap up? Look at his left arm. The video quality is not the greatest, but look at where his arms are after he makes contact. Pop off. See, he had to wrap up twice in the same sequence. Got to wrap up once, fight through him. Luckily, the runner wasn't great. He didn't go down, but the runner right here is a little tentative and is not very explosive, and just kind of took the tackle, but it didn't really work out anyway. It's kind of a bigger guy, the guy running, so got to get low, got to roll through. And again, this is the example of just pop and stop. Okay, gotta run through. Okay, so this next play right here, again, this was another overrun, and when you overrun, you lose the leverage, you lose balance, and you lose foundation. with your feet and where your stance is, and it gets overran and you get ran over like you're a styrofoam. When there's no base in the legs and there's no sort of traction with the cleats in the ground, you all of a sudden become a little kid and you just get thrown off. So again, this is the same deal. The guy that's tackling, again, essentially is just a doormat to get trampled over because he loses his feet. Overrunning, right here, there's no legs, there's no power, there's nothing to be able to support being able to use the tackler's body to run through the guy running the ball, because his feet are just out of the frame. There's out of his frame, not underneath him, off to the side, and he just gets ran over easily. Same deal as the tackler 1 or 2 reps before, the one that overran it going to the left. This is not bad. I like the patience right here of the defender. Patience, 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 patience. Look at the feet. They're nice and wide. They're not too wide, but they're nice and wide for him to be able to move laterally. Okay, and he's in position, near foot forward. Boom. He doesn't make the initial play. He doesn't blow the guy back. The runner is probably a little bit bigger than him and obviously has the advantage running towards him and knowing where he's going to run. So the defender has to react. So it's a little bit harder for him to initiate force. But the fact that the tackler used near foot forward and was able to funnel the runner towards the sideline right here, boom, off contact, out of bounds. No touchdown. Didn't even have to bring him to the ground, but just the fact that he got him out of bounds is a win. I'll take that. I'll take that. Just to be critical, I would want him to get a little bit lower and go more towards through the hip. Okay, he's a little bit high. Great job wrapping up. Again, he did 2 things great. He had near foot forward, forced the runner out to the boundary, and he wrapped up well. Just got to get lower. I like that, though. He kept his feet moving towards the end, too. So I like that. This is a pretty good rep. Pretty good. I like it. Okay. Defender. Tackler. Overrunning. Close his eyes. Close his eyes. Head down. Close his eyes. Doesn't know where he's at. That's all I need to say about that. Keep your eyes open. Okay, I see this a lot. This guy tackling right here is a skill guy. He's probably a smaller safety or corner. They get real low and do a good job getting underneath the tackler. I love that. But the legs, he's on the ground. You want to establish a base. Ideally, you want to establish a base, but he goes to the ground. He kind of gets crumpled, but he does a good job wrapping up. And he ends up forcing a fumble, which is a pretty good job. Hey, that's kind of a small guy tackle, but he got the job done, and I could appreciate that. Just needs a little bit more work staying on his feet, but that was a pretty good job. Okay. Way too high. The runner is. Look at where the runner is. Notice how much taller this runner is compared to the guy that's tackling. He's much taller, in my opinion, but he gets lower, and the defender pays for it, but the defender did a pretty good job wrapping up. Okay, stop the feet, boom. He is the nail, not the hammer. So the fact that he wrapped up is a last resort to be able to trip the guy up and stop him from getting in the end zone, which is good. It's a win. But the tackler needs to run through, keep his feet moving, and get lower. He'll be in a better spot.
There you go, Medina. There you go, Medina. Come on.
Okay, kind of some reinforcement from the defensive lineman, so I couldn't really see what this rep was, but in terms of the tackler, but I don't really like the positioning of the defender. He's out there peeking and he's not really seeking, if that makes any sense. If you're out there looking in the backfield, you can't really establish that much power and that much momentum from the position you're at. If you're looking and you're not going down and seeking something to hit, he's kind of looking, and by this time he's scooted up so far into the lap of the offensive lineman that he's just complimenting. He's just there. You know, he can't really establish power, can't create a pop. He's not in that spot. So that's that.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
This is interesting. This is a good rep. I want to critique this. This is good to watch. So what do we see? He's using his left shoulder to initiate contact to a runner that's going to his right. We're in the point of view from the defender. Okay, this guy right here. This is right to him. This is left. Left shoulder. You want to use the right shoulder, near foot forward. His right plane, his right shoulder, his right knee, everything going towards the right hip of the runner. Where's the right hip of the runner? Right there. Boom. Right there. Right hip. Right shoulder. He's using left. What that does is he opens everything up and he bounces off. You can't really tell because there's guys in the way, but the runner just bounces off to him, to his other shoulder, his left shoulder. Just bounce off. And you can't wrap up because you don't have that area, you don't have that plane to be able to get good contact on the runner if he's going to your right. If that makes any sense. And there was no wrap up. Okay, again, like I said, these runners are running hard and they're just beelining right to the defender. I don't like how he dropped his head. That just is asking for an injury. But these runners are doing a great job really challenging the tacklers in order to make a play. So I really, really love that they're doing this and they're not just scared and prancing around everywhere. 18 right here, okay? Just has trouble wrapping up. He can create good contact. He's got great center of gravity because of how low he is. Gotta wrap his arms. Look at his arms. Look at those things. He's trying to catch a frog on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like has to wrap up. The runner is, right, like I said, challenging him. The runner's doing a really, really good job making the tackler work. Gotta wrap up. Get lower. Wrap up. If you see a guy, in my opinion, and this is for all the players out there, if there's a bigger guy or there's someone running towards you and they're really full head of steam, ideally you want to get to their hip to make the tackle and aim low. But if they're going head on, you have to, if you're, like I said, if you're going to get ran over, you have to submarine them. That doesn't mean put your head and your face mask right into where their knee's getting driven, but you have to get lower than them and scrape their legs, because unless they're, and if they hurdle you, good, you know, what are you going to do? But most of the time, you're not going to come up against anyone that's going to hurdle you. Submarine, get low, cut their feet, and live to play another down. Probably do a few more here. Okay, so guy right here. Okay, good. Near foot forward, good. You can't see. Head down, can't see. No power generated. Just using that shoulder chicken wing. Bounce off. That's all I really need to see. Run through, wrap up, keep the feet moving. Let's see. This might be the last one. Okay, we're not gonna end on that rep. Okay, this next one's a good rep we can end up on. Okay. I don't like. Okay. I mean, I'm being very critical. I don't like this flying, this twisting tiger right here, but hey, it's, you know, doesn't really matter. Great contact. He keeps the feet moving. See, here's what I'm. here's what I'm noticing, guys. It's like, if there's about 3 phases to make a successful tackle, in my opinion: pad level, driving the feet, and wrapping up. If you do 2 out of the 3 right, you're going to be okay, especially at this level. And I don't know about big time college or pro, but at the high school and youth level, 2 out of the 3, whether you wrap up and keep your feet moving, or whether you have great pad level and you keep your feet moving, 2 out of you don't have to hit all 3. It doesn't have to be a trifecta, but being able to have a successful tackle takes 2 out of the 3. If you can do those, I believe you're going to have a lot of successful tackles. And a lot of the people running, especially in the games, they're not running to run people over. They're trying to run to score. So most of the times that they're going to fall, they're going to be able to be brought down a little bit easier than having the intent and whereabouts of an Oklahoma drill, making sure that they're trying to run people over. So that's not, like I said, this isn't as functional. This is a good drill to challenge the defenders and to show toughness and see who can move and who can create contact. But ultimately, when it comes to tackling, being able to, like I said, do 2 out of the 3 correctly is very imperative. So the first thing that pops in my mind is that this guy tackling is using his left shoulder, and he can't get good leverage and get underneath the runner because he has the wrong plane on the shoulder of the runner. The tackler has his left plane, they're going right, they're meeting right. In the tackler's point of view, he's going right. In the runner's point of view, he's going left. When they meet at the apex, when they meet at the point, at the vertex of the V, where they make contact, with the direction that they're going, it should be the defender's right shoulder against the runner's right shoulder, or right plane. When I say plane, I'm talking about their body, shoulder, right pectoral muscle, and then their thigh and hip running through there. But he did 2 out of the 3 right. He forced the runner out of bounds. He forced the runner out of bounds, and he kept his feet moving. Boom. And he had pretty good pad level. 2 out of the 3 is all you need, right? And I think that works out. So this is a pretty good Oklahoma drill. I'm glad this was being filmed the way it was, and I like how there was a lot of hard running, and it really challenged the tacklers. But again, in my opinion, it comes down to those 3 things. Near foot forward is a very important concept, and it really helps when it comes to just being able to. Tackling is not just tackling and bringing someone to the ground. Tackling is being in the right position and being able to make the contact at the right time, because there's guys that are willing to run through a wall for you. They might be 140 pounds. They can't do it because the guy's bigger than them running the ball. So it doesn't always work out that way, where you just get someone crazy to just run through people. If they can't wrap up, they can't get low, if they don't know the timing to be able to make contact with a certain player, they're just going to either just get matadored all day, or they're just not going to be able to make successful tackles or be inconsistent. A great tackler and a great defender is very consistent. Luke Kuechly, a player like that, to be able to make consistent tackles is key and pivotal. And it just brings confidence. The more you tackle, the better. It sucks being able to run and create contact. You got to love it in order to get used to it. But being able to do it successfully over and over again consistently will bring up a lot of confidence. So I really encourage that. Gotta tackle a lot to be good at it and to get used to it. So all the coaches out there, players watching, gotta work on the craft. And utilize a lot of drills. And the best way to practice is actually looking to get a lot of reps in these situations. Like, we can't coach and play and implement tackling drills all day, not like how it was in the 1980s, but being able to get the most out of it for your players that are going to be put in those positions is the way to go. And those that want to get better at tackling and may not have the resources of being on a team or being at an age yet where they're going to be in that position to work on it with the team or do these drills and pads, there's all sorts of videos and new ways out there to be able to work on tackling with bags, with rolling tube bags. There's all these different inventions over time that has really done a great service in the training aspect of tackle football that people should utilize, and I really encourage that. So yeah, there's a lot out there, but keeping the head up, keeping the feet moving, wrapping up, and having great pad level and being aware of where to hit the guy is very key and important. So that's my spiel for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below. I like to interact with football fans, players, coaches, anyone that wants to talk ball. I'm open and willing to talk about it and discuss and kind of go at it with, not go at it in a bad way, but just have conversations with anything and any content regarding this. So please do so. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll do a couple more videos, just commentary, and then we'll just go from there, man. Take it easy.